Thanks, Troy. This is Annabelle Drumm, and on the phone with me this morning is one of Australia's exceptional singer-songwriters. She's produced 18 albums and 7 times gone platinum, with 25 ARIA Award nominations over the years. She's performed on invitation for both the Danish and British royal families, and was musical director to our Commonwealth Games opening and closing ceremonies. Her work spans from indie rock to jazz, folk, circus and classical, and for this new album she's produced a uniquely Australian experience. I'd like to welcome Katie Noonan.
Good morning. Thank you, Annabelle.
I'm so pleased to have you on the phone here. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
It's very rare to have an artist move through such a diverse range of projects like you've done. What is it that sort of catches your eye when you see there's like a new project potential?
Oh, look, I think the magical thing about music is that you're a student of music till your last breath, and there's always going to be someone who is better than you at something, whether it's their capacity to do classical stuff or whether it's their amazing way they groove on music or whatever it is. I'm always interested in learning from others, and I have a pretty voracious appetite to, improve my skill set as a musician. So I guess that's why I love playing with different people from different walks of life. Richard Tognetti and the ACO, obviously you'd be hard-pressed to find a better classical band in the world. And so I learn from their incredible, deep, deep knowledge of classical music. But then equally, I love playing with rock musicians and jazz musicians whose vernacular is equally well-informed, but in a totally different world, and just learning from different people. And I also love working with people from different walks of life, so working with choreographers and poets and, as you said, circus artists and directors. And
Bill Henson as well, didn't you?
Limitless.
Yeah, it's wonderful how you keep that openness and never sort of say that you're the expert at anything. I think is a lovely way to approach life. It makes you easier to work with for a start.
Yeah. Oh, look, I did start in the classical world and I adore classical music. It's my first love, and I studied opera, and I was lucky enough to study with the late, great Margrethe Elton at the Queensland Conservatorium in the mid-90s, and I loved opera and I loved classical singing, but I realised I didn't love it enough, for it to be my obsession, which, it has to be. To have any form of success in anything, particularly in the arts, you've got to be 150% committed to it.
Ballet dancers are very similar in that way. They've got to be completely committed to it.
Yeah, and actually my first instrument was piano. So I was actually at the con when I was very young. But I realised that the life of a classical solo pianist is just so lonely. You have to practice 6 to 8 hours a day on your own minimum.
And
it's
travelling.
Not really about collaboration, which is what I'm all about. So.
Living out of a suitcase for that sort of work as well.
Yeah, well, I do have a fair bit of that, but at least on each trip I'm with different people.
Yeah,
so,
more to talk about. Now, you've worked with the Brodsky Quartet from the UK to interpret Judith Wright's poems. That album was With Love and Fury. How did that one come about?
I met Paul Cassidy, the violist, in Brisbane. He was here for, I think it was the Queensland Music Festival, actually, which interestingly then I went on to be the artistic director of some years later. But I just met him and felt that I'd met this beautiful kindred spirit. Massive fan of the Brodskys. They're obviously extraordinary players, but I love how they haven't just played classical music. And I remember hearing the Juliet Letters, their album with Elvis Costello, and then hearing them play with Björk, and I was like, wow, these guys are,
open-minded.
So open-minded, and classical's obviously their main shtick, but they love playing with different people and different vocalists, and I guess it was pretty bold because they've, the list of singers they've worked with is pretty short and they're all bloody amazing, but very interested in new works too, so they were up for anything. I said, I'd like to commission 10 composers to write new stuff, and and that was such a beautiful experience, and through that process I discovered that Judith Wright and Udjuru Noonan, otherwise known as Kath Walker, were actually shadow sisters. And that's led me on to this journey of discovery, finding out about these extraordinary women of a similar age, Judith Wright, Udjuru, and also Mel Thornton, Sigrid's mother, who I just did a show with a little while back, who's about to turn 90.
Wow.
These women were at the vanguard of the second wave feminist movement in Australia and were very much at the front picket lines of the 67 referendum, arguing to lift the marriage bar and all these amazing things that I've benefited from as an Australian woman since then. So I felt it was important to honour these amazing trailblazing women, and Oodgeroo, I've loved her poetry since I was a little girl, so that seemed just like the logical next step for my next kind of quartet collaboration project.
I was reading some of her poetry and found it, even though it's sort of simply written, it's actually very deep, isn't it? And very profound, very truthful. It's just, there's no hiding within it. It's not so sophisticated that you lose the message. It's
No, there's
clear.
no beating around the bush. Like, she just calls a spade a spade. It's very direct. It's very, sometimes brutally honest. Certainly no waste of words. It's straight to the point. But what I do love about her poetry so much is that it always offers a sense of hope, and she 100% did believe in the glad tomorrow, which is what was called the album. She genuinely believed that true reconciliation in Australia is possible and is imminent, and I share that same hope.
Marvellous. So the album is The Glad Tomorrow, and you've got your world premiere coming up.
Yes, we're very excited. World premiere at Sydney Opera House on Gadigal Country next Monday, October 28th, in the concert hall. But what's most special is that we will have Oodgeroo's great-granddaughter, Kalina Edwards, who's a very proud Quandamooka woman like her great-grandmother. She will be with us and will be speaking all of Oodgeroo's poems in the Jundai language. For the first time, I believe. As far as I know, it's the first time those poems will be performed live.
Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah.
And with the album as well, I just had a quick question about the Australian composers that you were working with. So with in your creative process, were you sort of overseeing what they were doing to make sure they kind of fit together, or did you just leave them to it to come up with what they wanted?
Not at all, no. I don't think a commissioner should ever govern the work at all, because otherwise why pick someone who you believe in, you know what I mean? So I just thought the common thread is Oodgeroo's words and her message, and obviously it's my voice and the Australian String Quartet. That's enough commonality. The fact that we're all Australian composers. I didn't do anything other than say, I bagged this poem because I really love this one, A Song of Hope. And I remember Richard Tognetti, he really wanted to do Son of Mine, so I know he put his hands up for that one early, and we just kind of kept on talking, making sure that we both weren't, that there wasn't one composer picking the same poem. But other than that, I was like, songish length, however you want to do it, we're happy to do anything, really, and, 4 to 7 minutes length-ish, and that's,
Lovely, okay. So, the CD is The Glad Tomorrow, and I'm with Katie Noonan right now on air, and her new CD is available on the digital platforms. Currently, was it #1 on the classical charts of, was it Apple, did you say?
The iTunes chart, yeah.
iTunes, congratulations.
So thank you to anyone who bought it on iTunes.
That's wonderful. And if you want the CD to give away as a gift or as part of your physical collection, you can buy those on Katie's website, on katienoonan.com. And the world premiere is Monday the 28th of October at the Sydney Opera House in the concert hall, and Katie will be there to sign your CD afterwards if you want to go and say hi and enjoy a live version of it. I think that's going to be very special. If you're interested in going to the world premiere, we have a double pass giveaway for today as well. So you can call in before 9 a.m, leave the message on 9439 4777 on our answer phone. Say you're interested in going to Katie Noonan's world premiere, and we'll have the double pass giveaway for that on at 9 o'clock. Thank you.
We can't wait. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm so pleased to have had you here. Thank you so much, Katie. And
thank you.
And just to go back to Troy, we're just going to play one piece from the album. This is A Song of Hope, and I guess this is the one that was written by you, Katie.
It was, yeah.
It's lovely. Okay, thanks so much.
Bye-bye.